The 2-0 to Nimmo. Swinging a line to left center. Base hit. Put it in the books. The Mets have made it 2 straight over the Phillies. Marte scores from third. The Mets pour out of the dugout. Nimmo's waiting for him between first and second. Here comes the shower of water and sunflower seeds. And a group of happy Mets are jumping up and down, celebrating a 6-5 win over Joan Duran and the Phillies.
Oh, unfortunately, that's how it sounded, courtesy of the New York Mets Radio Network. Good afternoon. Daily Ticket with you here. Chambray Sam Ostry here. I got to pick my daughter up. How about this? Got a brand new kid. You know that, Sam?
I did know that.
Things are going great. My daughter started kindergarten yesterday. She's off on Friday. First week.
School should not start before Labor Day. Anyway.
If you're going to give them off on Friday, then you might as well do that. I thought it was a different reason why, but I have to pick my daughter up tomorrow from school. How do people do this? How do people have jobs and pick their kids up from school?
It's the first time you're picking her up from school.
My wife.
I guess you're usually on till 6. So
I hope my wife's boss isn't listening. She's literally picking her up at 3:30 every day. She's not.
When you host a show from 3 to 6, you're probably not the one picking up from school.
I tell you right now, she's the breadwinner, and she's supposed to be working past 3:30. I would imagine. Like, this is crazy. How do you parents do this? How you pick up your? I can't tell my kid to walk home from school. She's 5.
Nanny is the answer.
Yeah, my
babysitter. Nanny.
My mom is gonna go grab. No, I don't even trust my mom to drive to the grocery store. All love and respect. Go pick up our kid. I don't. Well, that's where we're at. So tomorrow I have to do the show from the house. So I said, Sam, I need you to come in on a Wednesday. We got a lot to discuss. Of course, college football front and center for us with the big car.
It actually worked out because I'm heading to the U.S. Open tomorrow night.
Ooh,
Without
really?
a show with you, I'm heading to the U.S. Open tomorrow night in New York.
Very nice.
First time ever going to that event.
Oh, dude.
Heard great things.
That's an unbelievable deal by you. Way to work that into the equation here. And any idea? I've never been, always wanted to go, have been watching the Open for years, decades on my television, USA Network, way back in the day, and always looked intriguing to me. The only thing that was a turnoff is the fact that you have to drive to Queens, which is on the other side of the world half the time, it feels like. So do you have any idea who you're going to be watching?
The schedule's coming out slowly. It's been trickling out today. So I'm pretty sure, I don't think the times are out just yet, but I'm pretty sure Sinner is going to be at the nightcap, and then potentially Alcaraz too. So we could have the 2 top guys, of course, not playing each other, but I could see both of them tomorrow, which would be the goal, because when you buy these tickets or when you figure out that you're going, you don't know exactly. Yesterday, I didn't know exactly who was going to be playing.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's one of those 2 guys, I'm not going to complain, because those are the 2 guys who I'd want to see more than anyone else on the slate.
All right, we're having some issues with your camera there. We'll try and figure that out, sort that out. We're off and running here. It's a smooth operation, as always. The Daily Ticket, as you just heard, we open up with the New York Mets taking out the Phillies yet again last night, 6-5, and it's getting old. It's getting old. This Phillies team can't win on the road in New York, which is just frustrating beyond belief. And now you are looking at giving this Mets team, which was basically on life support as this 3-game series started, and now they have taken 2 straight. When it opened up, they were 7 games out. Of course, you do the math now. They could cut it down to 4 if they get the victory versus Taijuan Walker, which I fully do believe that the New York Mets will win tonight.
I'm with you, and it's at the point where it's like it's a psychological thing.
Correct.
Where they've lost 23 of 29 at Citi Field.
It's absurd.
That's crazy. We're talking about a divisional rival, a team that knocked you out of the playoffs last year, a team that you're probably going to see, definitely will be in the playoffs, but probably will see in the playoffs.
You know, if you asked me that last week, I was selling the idea that the Mets were going to be out of the playoffs. I can't say that anymore.
I'm not really concerned about the division at this point, and that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah. But
I still think the Phillies will find a way to win the division, even if they end up getting swept. The problem is right now, that they just can't get over this mental hurdle of beating the Mets in Citi Field. Now, if they go into a potential playoff series, where they've just got swept in late August to this team, and everyone's talking about it, that's all everyone's going to be talking about, where you can't beat this team on the road. That's a real psychological hurdle to overcome. And I would not be confident going into Citi Field. Of course, if the Phillies are the 1 seed, they'll have home field, or one of the top seeds will have home field. But that's not something I would be comfortable going to the Citi Field, because losing 23 of 29, that's absurd. Like, this team isn't better than you right now. Last night was an inexcusable loss. This is absurd right now, how the Phillies are struggling to win on the road at Citi Field.
Yeah, and you look at what you're getting as far as pitching is concerned. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Sanchez was on point, but it's like, if he delivered a little bit more, they scored 3 runs in that game last night. It's felt like somewhat decent starting pitching. The strike zone was a little tight. Luzardo wasn't a fan of it by no means, but you held him in check. I'm talking about the Mets bats, and it's there, and they lose a tight one. But the big picture for me is exactly what we just said, where this was a team that was on life support, and now you have given them belief. And here they are again, the division, not trying to sell that at all, even though there is 4 games against the Mets, or between the Mets and Phillies, coming up later in September.
At least they're at Citizen Bank Park.
Correct. So big difference. Of course, they took 2 of 3 a little earlier this year against the Mets at Citizens Bank Park, but still, it's a talented lineup that's putting it together, getting decent pitching right now. But all in all, it comes down to what's happening in the mental for me. And the Phils are struggling. They need to see a victory. They got to see the ball go through the net, as we talk about with hoops. And the Mets right now have this newfound belief and vibes that are coming through at the best time possible as they're heading into September. And it's just frustrating across the board. That was a very winnable game, a game that I thought they were going to find a way to win after that Bader home run, but unfortunately they come up short 6-5. As I said, though, back at it, no rest for the wicked. Yankees didn't take the day off. Good grief, up 11-0 right now as we speak. But Taijuan Walker going up against the brand new Mets pitcher, and the odds right now -161 for the Mets at home favored, which is just crazy. +132 for Taijuan Walker. As I said, I like the Mets to win today.
Yeah, I mean, Nolan McLean obviously on the mound. He hasn't played a ton.
I think 2 starts.
Yeah, 2 starts, but he's only allowed 6 hits in those first 2 starts. So he's been really good, and he's of course their number 3 prospect.
Yep.
For the Mets. So he's been really good in his 2 starts, but obviously limited starts. So there is opportunity for the Phillies hitters to maybe get this guy in a little bit out of his groove and rack up some hits. But at the same time, you got Walker on the mound. So you're looking at a high scoring game if the Phillies are going to win, because we're going to allow a lot of runs, and it's going to be a high scoring game. But the Phillies need to walk away with a win here. Like, I'm not going to say it's a must win game because of who's on the mound for the Phillies and and based on how yesterday went and how Monday went. But at this point, it's like you have to walk away with a win for your psyche, for your mental advantage, that when you're going to play this team again. So I'm not confident at all right now, but this is a pretty important game tonight.
Yes, if I'm on the post-game show with Barkan and Ricky Bowe and company, I'm not saying that this division is now up for grabs. I still feel like the Phillies will find their footing and get it going.
I mean, they have a tough schedule. Braves obviously coming to Citizens Bank Park over Labor Day weekend.
Brewers are in that schedule.
Dodgers coming up, a series against them. So it's a tough schedule. It's not like the division's going to be cake if the Mets walk away with this sweep, but they do have a substantial lead, and of course they're one of the best teams in the NL. So I wouldn't be worried. I'd be more worried about the fact that they can't beat the Mets on the road, but it's not like a foregone conclusion that the Phillies are going to win this series or win this division.
Let's pull up the odds. Let's take a look at that. What do you say as far as that is concerned? DraftKings Sportsbook, where we're at right now. And to win the National League East, if you had to put a number on it, oh, yeah, see, the Phillies are monster favorites still. I'm sure that number was significantly more 2 days ago. But -750, the Mets to win the division, +500. Is it impossible? No. Am I putting any money on the Mets to win? Hell no. Am I going to put money on the Phillies at -750? Hell no as well. But I do believe that the Phillies will find a way. Yes, it's just funny how it works, though. And I got to be fully transparent, because after that game 1 loss, I said, everybody relax. It's 1 loss. Sanchez was on the mound. You thought you had an opportunity. They didn't go up there and get a victory. Oh, well, you burn the tape. You move on. Game 2. Now it's 2 straight. And it's just a different feeling in my stomach. So should I be a little calm, a little bit more calmer than what I am giving off right now, possibly, because at the end of the day, it's still only 2 games, but there is something going on, as you said, 23 of 29. That's just absurd, and that's the best word, the best way to put it.
And it was also a game that the Phillies should have won last night, right? Like 5 of the Mets' 6 runs came in that 5th inning, which was a disastrous 5th inning. Of course, Luzardo gets tossed, or he got taken out of the game and then gets tossed because he was pissed, and he had a rightful case to be pissed. I mean, that was an absurd call, how they let Soto, when he had call a timeout in that situation where he was already winded up. I mean, that was an absurd call. So Luzardo had a right to be pissed. But of course, that 5th inning just gets ugly, and then Bader hits the home run in the 8th to tie it at 5. And you feel pretty confident with Alvarado, who that's a different conversation, whether he should or should not have been in the game, given he won't be able to play in the postseason. But he had a great inning. And then Duran just comes in. Obviously, it's an ugly 9th, and the Mets walk it off. But that's a game that I thought the Phillies were going to win, especially when they got off to that 2-0 lead, given how the night before went, when they also got off to a lead and gave it up.
Yeah, well, it's exciting. We're getting some baseball right now that is a little bit more front and center, when I think it was kind of fading a little bit, although it's the Mets and Phillies, right? Like, that's going to grab your attention no matter what. And I'll tell you, on Monday, I was saying to Luke Arcani, this is the ultimate time to put the foot on the throat, regain that confidence going on the road, and extend this division lead somewhere to 9, possibly 10 if you swept them, and it's gone completely the other way. So here we are right now. Again, coming up, Taijuan Walker, we'll talk more about that game. We'll get into a little bit more of the props. Colby Marshall is going to join us at 4 o'clock. We'll even dive in deeper with him. He's going to tell you straight up that the Phillies struggle to score runs on the road, and he will always approach it like that. I think he's going to keep it plain and simple. I'd like to dive a little bit deeper into those numbers, and I'm sure he has them, because that's definitely a talking point for him. He's been saying it for a couple of weeks to me. We did that show out in Chicago. You were on the board. That was his big emphasis, is the Phillies need to find ways to score runs on the road. I'm sure a lot of teams struggle in that category, but it does seem like it's a little bit more drastic for the Phillies. Maybe because I pay attention more. Who knows? They need to score runs tonight, though, damn it, with Taijuan on the mound.
They're 500 on the road this season. So, I mean, it's not awful, but it's not good.
Correct.
It's not good. It's not for a team with World Series aspirations. You would just expect them to be better. But the thing is that it's at Citi Field is the biggest problem. And Colby's right that it's been on the road all season, but at Citi Field is where it's been so bad, where you've lost 23 of 29, which includes last year's postseason.
Correct.
And that's where it's like this team has to figure it out if they're going to accomplish and achieve their ultimate goal of winning a World Series, because they're going to play the Mets. I mean, I just know they are. It's going to be destiny. They're going to play the Mets, and they're going to have to beat them in New York. So it's you got to figure it out now or never.
Are we there right now? Like, if they were to play a playoff series next week, would we go into it worried?
If it was against the Mets?
Correct.
100%. I don't think anybody in the city would be confident
in that whole
Mets.
series, or just the games at Citi Field?
You got to win on the road to win a series. Not 100%. You can take care of everything at home, but like more likely than not, you got to win on the road to win a series. And also based how last year went, and also depends on how the Mets finish this season. I mean, they've won 4 of their last 5, I believe, but before that they were on a 5-16 stretch.
Correct.
So the Mets were struggling. It depends how they finish out this next month, but just based on the mental advantage, I think Mets fans would be super confident. Phillies fans would be nervous if those two teams matched up in a playoff series next week, just because of how much the Phillies have struggled to win at Citi Field, and based on how last year's season ended, with the Mets obviously getting a postseason victory over the Phillies.
All right, we'll get your thoughts on that one at Fox PHL Gambler. If this series was to start tomorrow or next week, are you going into it thinking that the Phillies are in trouble if they had to play the Mets in a playoff series? Get involved in the conversation at Fox PHL Gambler. Having some fun today. Of course, trying to put a smile on your face with what we witnessed last night. Also, in the negative department, let me ask you this. And it's just unfortunate because it's the reality of where we're at. Zach Wheeler gets hurt. Zach Wheeler is out for the season. Zach Wheeler is out for 6 to 8 months. He was the horse. He was the guy. He was the number one. And, you know, I don't even know what it's like, but I would assume when you know that Zach Wheeler's day's coming up, you're like, yeah, we're going to win that game.
Yep.
You know, and it registers. So we often we bring up the 2017 deal with Nick Foles and that and the Eagles comparison. And that's one thing. It's a game a week. It was a
Can
playoff
I just
run.
say something about that?
Well, it was. Hang on, I'll set it up, and you can take it. No, you're all right, because I want to set it up for you, because I think it's two different worlds. It is. It's two different games.
It's completely two different.
All right,
worlds.
different stratospheres. I kind of agree with it, but do you think that this is something that is affecting the team right now and will continue to do so? The fact that Zach Wheeler is no longer on his team. Did they have a little bit of a bump? Of course, that was the emotional lift. We're galvanized. We're bringing everybody together. We're going to win one for Zach. Now that emotion has worn off. Again, it's just a talking point. I'm not trying to say that this is happening, because for my money, it's baseball. You're playing 162. You're either going to be the better team that night or you're not. And there's so many things that go into it. And the two games that we watched, the first one was a blowout, so throw that out. And then yesterday, I just think the Mets were the better team. They got hot. They hit with runners in scoring position. The Phillies are struggling in that category, and they're the home team. They got the last at bat. They made the most of it, and they're going home winners. But do you think this is something that could carry over into September from what we just what happened up here at Citi Field? Even if they win tonight, they're going to lose the series no matter what. And then could continue to carry over and play into September, which is the most important part of the season.
It's just wishful thinking to assume that every time a star player goes down, that something like the Philadelphia Eagles 2017-2018 run is going to take place.
It's not the first star player that got hurt. So give me a star player that's got hurt and the team has.
Well, you know what happens when a star player gets hurt? The teams lose. Like, that's what happens. You can't just say that the Philadelphia Eagles 2017 run is going to happen every time. Usually, your star player goes down, your quarterback goes down, your number one pitcher goes down. You're not going to accomplish your ultimate goal. That is such a rare, unique situation the Philadelphia Eagles went on, and you can't just every time in the city now it's someone goes down. It's like, oh, the Philadelphia Eagles did in 2017. They rallied behind Nick Foles. It was a rallying cry. There's no quarterback in the world that could have played a better Super Bowl than Nick Foles, and that includes the best quarterback of all time who he was up against in Tom Brady. It wasn't just a rallying cry. It's the fact that their backup somehow became Lord and Savior God himself in the Super Bowl because Nick Foles was that great. That doesn't happen. Like, not just rarely, almost ever. It just doesn't happen. Your best player goes down, your season's going to end disappointing. It's going to be a disappointing end to the season. So the fact that everyone's trying to use the Eagles, and I get it, it's wishful thinking, it's being optimistic, not to be a Debbie Downer here, but the reality is that doesn't usually happen. When your best player goes down, your pitcher goes down, your quarterback goes down, usually your season ends in disappointment. It's not like a rallying cry. So I don't really agree with everyone saying, oh, the Eagles did in 2017. This could be the rallying cry the Phillies need, and we can rally around Zach Wheeler here, or rally around Zach Wheeler's injury, and Christopher Sanchez can step in as the number one guy. It's hard to imagine. And Christopher Sanchez is awesome. Didn't have his best stuff Monday night, but he is an awesome pitcher. But Zach Wheeler wasn't just a great pitcher. He was an awesome pitcher in the playoffs. Like that, he trusted him in the playoffs in a way that Nola's been great, but he hasn't always been great in the playoffs. He's had some struggles in the playoffs. Zach Wheeler has not. He has been a guy where you hand him the ball in the postseason, you know you are getting 7 great innings, at least 7 great innings from Zach Wheeler. I think Christopher Sanchez can be that, but he hasn't shown that consistently enough to necessarily believe in him entering the postseason. So this idea that it's going to be a rallying cry and the vibes are going to be high come the postseason around Zach Wheeler's injury, it's just probably BS, if we're being honest.
It's going to go the other way is what I would say. The Ewing theory is something that Bill Simmons created.
Yeah, I brought that up before.
I've never heard that before.
You've never heard?
I'm not a Bill Simmons guy.
The Ewing theory. Did that just pop in your head?
No,
because that doesn't apply to the postseason.
All right,
real Bill Simmons fans know that.
That's all right. So no, I'm not a Bill Simmons fan.
So to outline the Ewing theory.
I googled team, not Chat GBT or GPT, whatever.
I
googled it, yeah, because you never know what's right and what's wrong. And I just asked players that got hurt or star players that got hurt, and teams went on to have success that season. And it referenced 2017 Eagles right at the top. 2008 is an interesting deal because Brady does go down. Matt Castle leads the team to an 11-5 record, but they did not win the Super Bowl that year. It also brought up the 2019 Warriors where Kevin Durant got hurt, but they didn't win the finals.
Yeah, they didn't win. These are teams that
they went to the finals, though.
These are teams that fell short, but Kevin Durant got hurt in the finals. Well, he missed a stretch of that playoffs, and he came back for the finals.
He got hurt in the playoffs, and then got hurt in the finals. Correct, yeah. So the Ewing theory, though, what is the Ewing theory?
The Ewing theory,
non-Bill Simmons folks over here.
It really does apply to betting on basketball and sometimes other sports too. But the Ewing theory is when a star player is injured. It's also Doc Rivers has said it too, time and time again. We don't like to invoke his name.
Did Doc get it from Bill Simmons?
Probably, but
Geez.
they are good friends, but he's categorized it a little differently. But essentially what it is when a star player goes down, the other team is going to be, when the star player goes down, the other team is going to take their foot off the brake. They're going to be more relaxed.
Yeah.
So that's why Doc Rivers has always said that he'd rather play a team with their star player and their best player than without them, because your team is going to be relaxed. Oh, their best player's out. We're probably going to have an easy night. It's going to be an easier win for us. And that doesn't end up being the case, because that team will play even harder and your team plays maybe more relaxed. And the team without the star player ultimately ends up winning. So that's why Doc Rivers has always said he'd rather play a team with their star player than without, which is pretty much what the Ewing theory is. But
how old was Patrick Ewing in '99? Was he like 38? Like, come on, man. He was old as
he wasn't that old back then.
He was in Georgetown in the early 80s.
Yeah,
in 99?
He was good. That's when the Knicks went to the finals in 99.
Yeah.
And he was the best player on that team. But
that's crazy.
I will say that only applies to the regular season, because in the postseason, everyone's up. Like, it's the postseason. Yeah. Everyone is getting ready and getting up for this game. It's not some random regular season game. So it doesn't really apply to the postseason, because it doesn't matter who's on the court or who's on the field. Everyone's going to get up and be ready for a postseason game. It really only applies to random regular season basketball or football or baseball games.
All right, Daily Ticket rolling on here. Sam Oster hanging out from The Score. He had a nice write-up. I saw you tweeting it earlier this week and getting all people fired up with Kevin Durant, and you ranked all the draft picks in there.
People did not like Kevin Durant over Bill Russell.
No, yeah, that's a funny one. So we'll have some fun. We will mix in some hoops some way, somehow on this show, as we often do when Sam is in studio. But the focus for us is going to be on all things college football. We got ourselves a big card tomorrow and Friday, even bigger on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. For right now, I want to bring up Arch Manning. And I want to get your take on Arch Manning, because I've heard a couple different ways that people are looking at him right now. And I think there are some valid criticisms or critiques, maybe not criticisms, but critiques. I do believe that there are people having hot takes. I think that Arch is the guy right now. And somebody dug up something on ESPN where they said, hey, look, he is on the Tim Tebow stratosphere as far as Google searches and all of that. Like, this is a hot topic, and it's obvious. We've been talking about Arch since he was 12, 13, 14. Like, I remember those videos, a lot like Zion when on the Instagram, and all of a sudden you're seeing Arch just toss the ball 50 yards down the field when he was 15 years old in those green jerseys. I think they were dressed up like LSU colors, if I'm not mistaken. It was really cool to see. And then we're paying attention. We know his bloodline. We know that he was heavily, coveted to go to, whether it's Ole Miss. They put Manning's name in the end zone when Eli Manning's jersey went up. And of course, they were trying to get him to go there. He ends up going to Texas. And we've seen Arch.
Wait, did you read this story that recently came out about Arch Manning? Sorry to cut you off, but this is too good. So the story recently came out from Seth Wickersham in his new book that he's releasing called Quarterback.
Okay.
Great story. It's about Arch Manning. And it was about the recruitment of Arch Manning.
Oh, God.
And so obviously Alabama was in the mix.
How does Seth Wickersham get all this?
He's the best. He's one of the best sports writers of this generation. Maybe the best, actually, sports writer of this generation.
Yeah, he's always got like the deep dive
He's been at it for decades and decades. He's good at what he does.
All right, so go on. How does he have this story?
So this is about the recruitment of Arch Manning. And so Texas and Alabama, of course, are both in the mix. Alabama consistently kept calling, and I want to get the wording right, but Alabama consistently kept calling Arch Manning to try to recruit him, whatever. There was concerns about Nick Saban's potential retirement, which is why the Mannings didn't necessarily love for Arch Manning to go there. But in one of the calls, the offensive coordinator for Alabama was talking smack about Texas, and something that he said, he was like, "Oh, I love Steve Sarkisian. He'll be a great coach. Whatever you decide to do, hopefully he stays sober," is what he said. That's what the Alabama offensive coordinator said to Arch Manning. And apparently Arch Manning's high school coach called him after the meeting, was like, that was incredibly inappropriate. Why did you just say that? Because, of course, Steve Sarkisian, of course, suffered from alcoholism, which
Correct.
almost ended his coaching career. And he's recovered from it now.
Yeah.
But he took a
He's
shot.
Still an ass, but that's all right.
He took a shot.
Hopefully he's a sober ass.
He took a shot at Steve Sarkisian's sobriety.
Yeah.
And his old disease of alcoholism.
Isn't everything on the table, though, in
yeah,
that world?
I was talking about with some people. It's like people talk a lot of trash about other teams' coaches and programs when they're trying to recruit guys.
So
that's a little far over the line.
Maybe a little over the line to a point. But let me ask you this. So in that phone call, did Arch say that he was going to visit Texas? I missed that. Like, how did Texas come up? Do you remember?
I think they were just discussing about how his recruitment's been, who he's visited, who he's talking to, all that.
Probably there were some whispers that he liked Texas. 100%.
I'm sure, because I think Alabama was very much in the mix. People knew Texas was in the mix. So yeah, it was between those two and a couple other schools. And so they got word of that, and then they tried to trash talk Alabama, and of course, trash talk Texas, and of course their head coach and his old disease where he was a drinker.
I think everything is on the table at that point in time, especially for a guy like Arch. Now you have to realize that could rub him the wrong way, and that's probably not a kid that I would say that to, right? Like, I might use that with somebody else, but Arch Manning, no, I would not say that, period. But you get me in the mud where I'm trying to get a recruit, which could ultimately change the world that you exist in, especially at Alabama. Yeah, I'd say everything is on the table. Now, but back to the player, though. Let me ask you about Arch, because we know the world is an oyster. It's his. It's there for the taking. He could very well be the overall #1 pick come next April. And I don't know. Like, I think there are ways that he can play himself out of it, but I think this kid is the real deal up here more than anything. We know what the skills are, the athleticism. He makes plays with his feet. And oh, by the way, he's playing for Texas, a team that has been on the rise every single year. Credit to Coach Sark. I'm not a Coach Sark guy. I often reference that video where he chewed that kid out that was just trying to do his job, which I thought was way out of line. And he never heard him apologize about it. And that sort of stuff bothered me, but whatever. He's doing well in Texas. Had a great season last year. Big game against Ohio State coming up here on Saturday. Arch Manning, how are you defining him right here heading into that game? Are you one of these guys that say he's going to light it up this season, lock, stock, and barrel, the #1 overall pick, no ifs, ands, buts about it? You love what you've seen so far. Or are you up in the air? Do you need to see more about Arch? When I ask you about Arch Manning heading into this weekend, what do you say?
I'm leaning more towards he's going to be that great of a quarterback and a generational prospect when he decides to leave college, whether that's after this season or maybe after another season. But at the same time, how could any of us sit here and go, we know exactly who he's going to be, when he only got a few reps against Georgia? And that was the only meaningful college football game he's ever played in, was last year against Georgia. We got a few reps. The other teams he played was like Louisiana State and just some not great teams. Who else did he play against last year's ULME and UTSA? Yeah. So it was not great teams that he played last year. So there's not a lot of reason to be like, okay, he's going to be this unbelievable prospect based on the eyes. But what everyone's saying, and people that I trust are saying, is that he is going to be a generational quarterback. So what can I do other than believe in him and believe in that? And this isn't just like media heads hyping him up and this is like a Tim Tebow rise.
No, he's earned it.
He's earned it, but this is also people who have seen him at camps. Like pro scouts, like the of course the Mannings aren't going to say anything bad about their nephew, but like they're talking their nephews up, Eli and Peyton Manning, saying like this guy is better than we were at his age. We're talking about two, maybe one, definitely Hall of Fame quarterback, maybe one day another Hall of Fame quarterback. I know you had that bet. That's a sore subject. But we're talking about two Super Bowl champion quarterbacks, and they're saying he's better than they were at his age.
Pause. But like, what quarterbacks aren't better these days? I feel like everything is so elevated.
That's
from
fair.
The camps to 365, right? And a kid like Arch Manning, yeah, like no ifs, ands, buts about it. He's going to be better than Peyton and Eli at the high school level, maybe at the freshman football level or the freshman at college level. Maybe after it's all said and done, we know the careers that Peyton and Eli had at both universities. Maybe that's a different conversation. We'll see. But I just look at when you say, like, have we seen enough from him? I think we know what his athleticism is, right? He makes a ton of plays with his legs. We know that what he's capable of with that roster. I don't think it's that, and I don't think you're saying this, but I don't think it's that far-fetched for me to sit here and say I expect him to light it up this year.
You do? Or
yeah,
I do. I do. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I'm 100%.
Maybe not Saturday, though.
I think Saturday, too.
You got Texas over Ohio State?
I got Texas over Ohio State.
I'm going Ohio State.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going to take the home team. A lot of juice in that building. A lot of juice.
There will be, but
a lot of juice.
A lot of juice when they raise that banner, too. Can it translate to the actual game? We'll see. Honestly, to me, it's the coordinator thing with Texas and Ohio State, because Texas has continuity on their coaching staff with Steve Sarkisian still calling plays. Both their coordinators returned. Ohio State lost both their coordinators. So I think that's a pretty massive loss when you lose two of your coordinators like that. And your defensive play caller and Matt Patricia, who we know very well in Philadelphia,
True.
He's going to be calling the defense. It's just a different vibe. And that continuity on the coaching staff is really going to show up in game one. So when it's such a toss-up like this, two of the best teams in the country, that's why I'm giving Texas the edge and why I'm actually going to bet Texas on that. But back to the Arch Manning point.
Yeah.
It's not just his arm strength, his athleticism. We know all that. Like, that's obvious that he's that good at that level. It's like, do you love football that much? And I think a lot of times, if you're going to be a great quarterback, it's how much do you love the game and how much do you study it and how do you approach the game? And by all accounts, he puts in every ounce of work you possibly could.
If your uncle's Peyton, you have to know what he's going to be.
And that's what Peyton was known for more than anything, was his preparation. Like, he knew every defense that was going to be called against him.
Yeah.
Exactly, yes, with the red all over it. He knew every defense was going to be called against him at all moments, and that was all the preparation, all the film study he put in. Arch Manning does the same thing. Like, Arch Manning approaches the game the same way. So when you're putting in that type of work, it's hard to bet against the kid because the athleticism's there, the arm talent's there, the processing ability is there. He's going to make some mistakes early in his college career. Don't get me wrong. Earlier in his first season starting, he's still going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the country and one of the top picks, probably the top pick in the draft whenever he decides to declare. And anything short of that would be a massive disappointment. So I'm buying into the hype.
Yeah, I'm there too as well. I don't see much that is going to slow him down just because of what Sark has been able to build, the athleticism. Oh, by the way, the fact if he ever does struggle, a phone call away is Peyton, phone call away is Uncle Eli, a phone call away is Archie too, which knows a thing or two about college football. It is intriguing, though. It is the big storyline this weekend, Ohio State and Texas. And, of course, Arch Manning. Are you buying in? What is your read on Arch right now? Do you think this kid is a lock to be the overall #1 pick? I do. I think that he is going to be in the conversation for the Heisman Trophy. We'll see. I also think that Jeremiah Smith is going to light it up this year. So Jeremiah Smith has been my pick. But get involved in the conversation. Arch Manning at Fox PHO. Again, we'd love to hear your thoughts out there on social. Aaron Dolan pops up on this TV screen about this time every day. Now, Aaron Dolan is living the life. And I'm very, very cautious to say this because I know we're all in the same world when I bring this up. And
tread lightly here.
It's football season.
It is football season.
It's football season. So when football season starts, you literally have to be working Monday through Sunday, whatever it is. But I have noticed that Aaron Dolan, when she pops up on my TV screen, also known as a Philly fan, also apparently dating Alec Boehm, so I love and respect. She has been doing this show from her bedroom, from a room. It looks like her bedroom. I don't know. I guess could be it could be a side room, could be the guest bedroom.
I'm sure Alec Boehm has plenty of rooms in his house.
I'm just like, does she ever make the trip? Do they ever say, come on up to Bristol? I see my guy Joe Fortenbaugh. He's always schlepping it up to Connecticut, back to New York at studio. But Aaron Dolan gets to do it from the comfort of her own home. I'm just curious how that works.
Yeah, not everyone's treated equally.
Yeah,
that's the way the world works.
So.
That's not just this business. That's every business. But I will say there's no question she'll be in studio for like ESPN Sunday Countdown. She'll have to be there for those big studio shows. But for ESPN Bet Live on a 3 p.m. on a weekday, she can probably run it from back here. She has to go to, actually, she's probably in Citi Field right now.
No, that's the same room. I think she's probably down the shore.
That's fair.
Yeah.
She's from down the shore, yeah.
Is she from?
Yeah, from.
Where'd she go to high school? Do you know that?
I don't know that information, but she's from down the shore.
I thought she was from Philly.
Nope. I mean, when you're from the shore, you say like South Jersey, so you say Philly, but she's definitely
She
from that
came
kind of shore.
in, we started this radio station in like 2019, 2018, whatever it was. And we were doing pregame shows. Oof, you should have saw that. That was incredible. We did pregame shows from Xfinity Live inside. So I used to DJ and then I would go host with David Akers. I would do an hour with Akers. I would DJ and then go do an hour on air with Akers. And we did that from the Victory Beer Hall. And then we also did it later that season where the bull riding goes on, the PBR, whatever it is.
Xfinity?
Yeah, at Xfinity
Yeah.
Live. And so she comes in as we're leaving, and it might have been like her first time. Like, she's young, right? I don't know how young she is. She's good at what she does.
Yeah, I mean, you expect me to answer that. I don't know. Probably 30. She's probably 30. I don't know.
Oh, she's a little older than you. Okay.
Definitely way older.
Oh, okay. I thought she, anyways, she came in and you would have thought like this is the first time that she was ever outside at like a venue like this. And there is a lot of people, no doubt, but like she was just like, wow, this is incredible. And it's like, hey, how you doing? Because she was doing traffic, I want to say, on like PHL or something like that. And now she's a household name giving out winners. If you remember last year, apparently her record, she was one of the greatest sports gamblers ESPN has ever put out there.
Yeah.
Good luck. That's all I'll say.
I was wrong about her hometown. She went to Cardinal O'Hara.
Yeah.
So I guess she just summers in the Jersey Shore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some people are from there, though.
She's a Philly girl.
Yeah.
Philly-ish.
29, too.
She's 29. Ooh, hitting that 30. How old's Bohm?
Let's find out.
He's younger than her.
No, 29, too.
Oh, look at that.
He just turned 29. His
Like
birthday was this month.
Like Travis and Taylor Swift, all the same age. How about that?
Yeah.
You gotta love it. All right, daily ticket rolling on. How good is Arch Manning? That's the question. That Fox PHL
I missed that one. Like Travis and Taylor Swift.
35.
They're both 35.
29.
I didn't realize they're both 35.
35.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Love wins.
Are you a Taylor Swift guy?
I can be.
Yeah.
Some good songs.
Oh,
I don't understand the cult following, but
Man.
good for them. Good for her.
Yeah, and look,
I don't really care, honestly.
she is, in my opinion, she's earned every bit of it.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
mean, she's good.
But it is crazy. I saw people on my timeline making like brownies for her last night.
It's an interesting conversation.
I saw people popping bottles of champagne for her.
I saw it, but it's an interesting conversation.
It's like, whoa.
Because I saw a lot of people doing that too.
Now, like, I grew up, I'll tell you, I was a diehard Jay-Z fan. I am right now, to this day, a diehard Grateful Dead fan. So, like, yeah, I had my days with Jerry, well, not so much with Jerry, but Bob Weir and like, I don't like a celebrity. The Roots, I was a diehard Roots fan. Like, if Black Thought was getting married, I'm not cracking a bottle of champagne.
Well,
with all love and respect to Tariq.
Here's my defense of those people, and I used to be the ones to trash them, but like that's their sports. Like we do that when the Eagles win the Super Bowl. We react like that when the Eagles win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's their sports. It's a little weird because like I would never do that for like someone's personal life I didn't know. I do it for like a team that I root for. But it's their sports. Like that's their sports. Taylor Swift's life is like how we approach our Eagles fandom. So it's like when a huge moment happens for her, they're going crazy. It's like when a huge moment happens for the Eagles, we go crazy. It is different because the personal life and all that. But that's my defense of them because a lot of people are trashing those people on the timeline yesterday.
Well, everybody trashes everything.
Yeah, that's true.
But that's fine. You can do whatever.
Particularly the people crying when someone else got married or got engaged that they don't even know. People were really on those people's tail.
All right, let's throw that out there to the people. How did you celebrate Travis and Taylor getting engaged yesterday? At Fox PHL Gambler, get involved in the conversation. How are you viewing Arch Manning, and how did you celebrate Travis and Taylor getting hitched yesterday? Oh, the breakdown, the Zapruder films of the podcast. Oh my goodness, that somebody looked at footage at practice that day that he supposedly got engaged. How do people know all these details? It's insane to me. All right, daily ticket rolling on. Sam Oster hanging with us. Colby Marshall is going to join the party coming up at 4:00. Don't go anywhere. More after this.
We don't just watch college football, we live it. How did he stay on balance there? Look at him go! Scataboo! Join us for the stories, the scores, and the Saturday magic. It's The Gambler. Our iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One, is back in Vegas.
T-Mobile Arena.
Streaming live only on Hulu. A weekend full of superstar performances. And keep listening for the next chance to win your way there. Capital One is the proud presenting partner of iHeartRadio Music Festival, bringing great products, rewards, and services to its customers. What's in your wallet?
Pumpkin pie and apple butter concretes are now at Rita's.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
Virginia, the Schuylkill westbound University Divide and Boulevard to Belmont. Eastbound, stop and go Montgomery Drive to South. 95 northbound, Jan, Jabbar Point Bridge, Penn's Landing, and Allegheny to Bridge, southbound back to Bridge to Betsy Ross. Live to tell total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Compassion International.
Every day, a child in poverty waits for a sponsor is another day of hopelessness. There are thousands of kids who've been waiting over a year. End their wait. Sponsor a child with compassion today. Just text the word radio to 83393.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
This is Ben Green with Lenovo Legion, and I'm inviting you to come check out the Legion Gaming Cube on September 19th and 20th. It's part of the iHeartRadio Music Festival in Vegas. It's your chance to test your gaming skills on the best PCs anywhere. Go head-to-head with players at the event, all live streamed from the first ever Lenovo Legion Cube. The Cube is part gaming zone, part creative playground, and it's all powered by Lenovo Legion. So come find us at the iHeartRadio Music Festival, and if you're not already a member of the Legion Gaming community, you can sign up now for free at gaming.lenovo.com.
I have heart failure, and being out of breath all the time was just too much.
My lower back pain was interrupting family time. My carpal tunnel syndrome was taking me away from work. That's why I talked to my cardiologist about my symptoms.
That's why I talked to my cardiologist.
That's why I talked to my cardiologist and discovered I had ATTR-CM, or transthyretin cardiac amyloidosis.
If you have heart failure and new or worsening symptoms, it could be ATTR-CM. ATTR-CM is a serious heart condition often accompanied by other non-heart-related symptoms. Talk to your cardiologist today and see what's possible. Vindamax, tafamidis, is a prescription pill taken once a day to treat adults with ATTR-CM to reduce death and hospitalization for heart problems. Tell your doctor about all your medications, medical conditions, and if you have liver problems or breastfeeding, pregnant, or plan to be. There are no known side effects with Vindamax. For prescribing information, call 1-877-278-9632. Learn more at Vindamax.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Imagine if today was the day your idea changed someone's life. With GoFundMe, it's all possible. Help someone pay for college. Help your community build a new playground. Or help a child make it to that dream competition. GoFundMe is the world's #1 fundraising platform trusted by over 200 million people. Don't wait for someone else to bring change. Start your fundraiser today at GoFundMe.com/radio. That's GoFundMe.com/RADIO. This is a commercial message sponsored by GoFundMe.
Do you own or manage a business here in Philadelphia? Are you unsure where to start when it comes to advertising? Well, here's a surprise. Fox Sports The Gambler, your local iHeart station, is the one place you can get it all. Hey, it's Sean Brace, and we can help with everything from radio and podcast ads to social media and digital. And we can even get local voices like mine spreading the word about your business. So if you're looking for someone to take care of it all, do yourself a favor right now. Call 844-844-iHeart or visit iHeartAdvertising.com today. Hey, man, you all right? Need me to call 911? No, call Top Dog Law. Get top dollar for your accident at TopDogLaw.com. Once again, that's TopDogLaw.com. Daily Ticket with you here. Sam Ostry, Sean Brace. Colby Marcia is going to join the party coming up at 4 o'clock. And I'm excited to have Colby on, Sam, because he is a college football aficionado as well as Major League Baseball. Nobody does baseball like Colby. He'll be joining us live from Chicago. He's got his own show coming up immediately following his hit. But he's going to be hopping on the station. We're going to get him involved a lot more, of course, with playoff baseball, but front and center. But bottom line is college football is here, and we are ready to roll. The big conversational piece that we started with today, based off of what's taking place on Saturday at noon. Where are you watching the game at?
I'll be down the shore, so probably either at my buddy's house or Shore Bar, one or the other.
Oh, man, I'd love to be belly up at a bar for Labor Day weekend.
It's my last weekend down the shore.
Oh, man. How was your summer at the shore?
It's good. It was good.
Yeah.
Not the best summer I've ever had down the shore. I've had better.
Do you feel like they're getting worse and worse each year?
Yeah.
You're getting older and older?
Yeah, this was the year it's like, I'm probably done. I'm probably not for good, but I don't think I'll ever go as I don't want to say hard, but like I won't go out as much as I have this summer. I think this summer was the end. I felt it.
Are we pouring one out for Sam's beach
pouring
career?
out this weekend. I mean, look, I'll always be a Jersey Shore guy. Doesn't matter if I'm living across the country. I'll always be a Jersey Shore guy. But I kind of felt it this year. That it was like this. I'm getting too old for this.
It happens. It happens out of nowhere. It's unfortunate. Yeah, it's called life. We all get old. And
it was a good summer, though. Don't get me wrong.
Good.
Always is.
Yeah, I wish I could have been down there a little bit more, but that's what two kids will do to you as well. All right, we do have a lot going on. As I said, we opened up the show talking about so many different topics. That first segment, we hit on Erin Dolan live from her room, Arch Manning, Sark being a drunk, Peyton, Eli, recruiting, of course, Major League Baseball with the Phillies losing again, a lot to chew on, and how did you celebrate Travis and Taylor getting engaged? But the question that I have for everybody right now is Arch Manning. First of all, let's fire up DraftKings Sportsbook and take a look at the numbers. That game was shifting to where I thought that Texas could potentially be favored heading into this game. I did. I thought that we were going to see some more movement and that Texas would be favored heading into this game on Saturday. DraftKings changed up their way on the laptop here. Interesting. Their layout. You know how it is. They're constantly updating stuff and changing things. So to each their own. But it's throwing me off a little bit. It's a little bit wider than what it normally is. Anyways, Saturday, I did believe that Texas would be going off. There was a chance that Texas was going to be going off as the favorite. It's not looking like that anymore. We're still holding steady. Actually, I lied to you. Back down to 1.5. Where does this game go off on Saturday in your mind?
It's really been on the move. Yesterday afternoon,
it went back up to 2.5.
Yeah.
Correct.
And now it's back to 1.5. It's been. It probably lands at 1.5. By kickoff.
Really?
Right now, maybe
I think a lot of
2.
people, a lot more people are on Texas.
They are. They absolutely are. But
are you feeling nervous about your play because it's now a public play?
Like a little bit, but I don't get. I try not to get swayed by the public.
Why are you on Texas over Ohio State at home with the best player on the field? The two best players are on Ohio State: Caleb Downs and Jeremiah Smith.
That's true. There's 2 reasons, and both these teams. It's so hard. I mean, it's a coin flip game when you have 2 of the best teams in the country, and you have 2 teams that are really evenly matched. They both lost a lot last year to the NFL, but they're both really evenly matched teams. But there's 2 reasons. Arch Manning and Julian Sayin both have not been in this spot. Who do you trust more? Who's a guy who's dealt with pressure and expectation and these type of environments his entire life because of his last name? And that's Arch Manning. I trust Arch Manning more than I do Julian Sayin coming in, even in a road matchup, going into week 1. And the second reason is what I outlined earlier, and Beef just gave me some props on Twitter for it. Shout out Beef, was the coordinators and the coaching continuity of Texas, where Steve Sarkisian is back calling plays. Both their coordinators are back. The Ohio State lost 2 coordinators.
Yeah, but
talk about that in
the
NFL.
wide receiver coach is calling the plays on offense.
Yeah, but it was Chip Kelly last year.
Okay,
and that guy got demoted for Chip Kelly last year.
He was still there.
He was, but it's still different. And like, whoever's calling the plays is still different.
And the defensive coordinator
is Matt Patricia.
I understand, but look.
Do we love Matt Patricia here? Not necessarily.
Matt Patricia at the professional versus the college level.
He hasn't been in college in 20 years?
Correct.
So it's just different. Like, it's different. Coaching continuity matters when you're looking for such a small edge. I would give it to Texas for those reasons. And it's like Ryan Day is an awesome coach, sure, but there is the national championship hangover aspect too. Even when you're at home, you're hanging the banner, you're doing all those pregame celebrations. They're worried about Dave Portnoy and Fox Big Noon Kickoff. Everything is just everything is telling me just Texas is going to win this ballgame.
It really is something weird, but I kind of respect Ohio State with the rivalry pettiness. Like
you can't do that when you've been getting killed. Like it's such a one-sided rivalry right now.
They just won a national championship.
Okay, but that doesn't matter for the rivalry. If Michigan's won 4 or 5 straight.
It doesn't matter for the rivalry that they won a national champion?
Because Michigan won the year before. So it's like, okay, yeah, you won. We won the year before. Let's go head to head. We've won 4 straight over you guys. And last year was the year when it was just completely inexcusable. And then you start a fight after they plant their flag on your home field.
You should show some guts.
Win the ball game. Like, you show guts on the football field, win the ball game.
Well,
Who cares? They have the right to plant that flag.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Show some class, Sam.
Some class.
Show
it's a
some
rivalry.
class.
You said you like the pettiness. We love rivalries in college football. Show some class. You just got beaten down on the football field when you were a massive favorite against the Michigan team that was having an awful year.
You plant a flag in my house, we're fighting. We're fighting.
But I already beat you in the fight.
Doesn't matter.
If I beat you in the fight and you're on the ground, I can plant that flag and I will plant that flag.
Well, we are going to fight if you plant flags at midfield.
It's not like before the game. It was you lost the fight and we just took over your house. We're going to plant that flag. They had every right to do that.
I hate sticking up for Ohio State. I really do. But I kind of it's a new world. And you know what, Fox? Welcome to it. Because you wanted Barstool, you wanted Portnoy, now you get it. And apparently Ohio State says, you know what? We're not allowing Barstool to be live because of everything that Portnoy brings to the table between that rivalry. He is a guy that will put it right in the middle, paint his face. And do you really want that? There's a difference between Desmond. I've seen this a lot. Would you do this to Desmond Howard? There's a difference between Desmond Howard and David Portnoy.
He's as obnoxious as it gets,
Correct.
Portnoy.
Correct.
And look, it's part of his brand. I actually think in a weird way, I mean, it could deteriorate the relationship between Fox and Ohio State, which is an important one because they go to Ohio State for a Big Noon Kickoff more than any other school. But it actually brings a lot of attention to Fox Big Noon Kickoff.
You think Ohio State, you think that game will go on if Fox and the Big Noon Kickoff isn't there?
Yeah,
I think Ohio State has the upper hand matter what.
Of course, and
they are flexing it here.
Actually could help them because now people are talking about Fox Big Noon Kickoff and people are saying, oh, where's Portnoy going to be? Is he on the desk when he actually get in the stadium? Yeah. People are going to tune in and watch. And I think that was the whole intrigue about bringing Portnoy in because he can create these type of conversations, even though he's not a football guy. He's not McAfee where he's going to break down anything football related, but he can create these conversations and bring in views where Big Noon Kickoff obviously is way behind game day and they need it.
This is the best. This is what he does. This is like the
great
best
controversy.
The best thing he does. But when it comes to content, I don't really think of much of him, to be honest. Like takes, excuse me. I don't
sports takes. Yeah. I mean, he doesn't watch the games that much. He doesn't know. Yeah, everyone knows that, but that's not what he's there for. He's a funny guy who's a sports fan.
Yeah.
That's how I would describe him.
All right. And I think they start next week with Fox, not just that.
I think it's this week, this Saturday.
The whole show. I mean, that spot
post Labor Day. Yeah,
we'll see. I don't even know half of those people that were on the graphic. I know that there are people out there that love Barstool. I am one of these people that have been just totally over it on my timeline. I can't it's just
not following Barstool Beach House.
The algorithm,
they own it.
It's like Mr. Beast, right? Like it really is in that same world where it's like they're algorithm warriors and they own it. Yeah. And it's just like, all right, as much as I like Big Cat and PFT, I can't deal with it because it's like, it's all of it. And I don't care about Big Balls Glenn and this Nikki Siggs and like all the I can't.
Yeah, I don't blame you. A lot of it's just really cringe.
But I do like Big Cat and I do like PFT.
Most people I think would say that they're like real sports fans would say they're part of my take fans and not necessarily Barstool.
Another
fans.
show that I've never listened to a minute.
I listened to Part of My Take. Huge. I listened to that when it came out in 2016. So I was an OG Part of My Take guy way before they exploded. So I'll take credit, not credit, but I'll take some solace in that. Mm-hmm. But the rest of it's just a lot. But they own the algorithm. That's what they do. And then they're a social media brand. They came up on the internet and they own the internet in a way that no other company's ever replicated or figured out that in a way that they can.
Yeah, it's good. Nice work by them. They've brought in some really good people to help them out over the years, and obviously somebody is damn good at what they do. And and you know what? I got to give credit to that they've been able to create a fan base. There's a reason why those things are on the algorithm for a reason, right? So, but it's just too much. It's way too much, and I think I have blocked and tried and attempted. I'm not a word mute guy, muted word guy.
I never do that.
But I think that's, if you want success in that world, it's not about blocking these accounts. It's about muting those words.
Yeah.
Let's just
what words are you muting? Swift and Kelsey?
No, like
the Barstool stuff.
I wish I could mute Trump. Like, like Barstool Beach
House. You
just
have a dry timeline if you mute Trump. I mean,
like you can't. My thing is this, Sam. I just want Twitter for sports.
Yeah, that's why I joined it.
Can we get a Twitter for sports and sports only?
I've been on Threads recently, threading a little bit there, whatever you call it, and scrolling.
It's sports?
It's my timeline sports, because my Twitter timeline is.
It's just too much.
I mean, there's some sports. I'd love it for it to be all sports, but it's a lot of other stuff.
It's not enough sports.
Yes.
That's a good way of looking at it. It's some sports. Same thing with my timeline. It's like, dude, I'm just going on here to find out,
Like I have other sources for news and worldly current events and cultural topics. I have other sources for that. Twitter was always a sports thing for me.
Like I like skimming my timeline and seeing Edlow from, DraftKings talking about a play in week 1 that he likes. I like seeing your link to the score and something that you posted, but I feel like I never get that. It's always.
I barely tweet my links anymore because they suppress links. They don't want you to leave the app. So all these links are suppressed, and it's just videos, like 30 to 60-second videos are what do it.
Fun times. All right, Daily Ticket, we're off and running here. You never know where we're going to go. Actually, other side though, Colby Marcio is coming up. Yes, excited to get Colby on. He's ready to go. Bottom line is this: we are going to hit all things college football with a little sprinkle on the Phillies. Can they score some runs tonight in New York? Oh, by the way, also AL MVP. The big dumper continues to do it in a big way.
The 3-2 on the way to Cal. Swinging a well-hit ball deep to left field. Head into the upper deck. Stay fair. Upper deck. Goodbye baseball. Number 50 for Cal Raleigh.
Yeah. Colby Marcio on the other side. Daily Ticket after this.
From Tuscaloosa to the Big House, Saturdays start here.
Howard flips it. Smith's got it, and the freshman just vaults in as the Buckeyes score.
Your home for all things college football coverage. It's The Gambler.
Hey, Sean Brace here. Make the most of your summer without stressing your budget. Use the Zip app. With Zip, you can make more happen this summer, from front row to baseball game to last-minute grocery runs for that barbecue. Zip lets you comfortably pay over time with the flexible payment schedule. You can use Zip online and in store, almost anywhere Visa is accepted. Just download a Zip app today. Loans through Zip Pay anywhere and Zip Web checkout, including any Power by Zip loans, are originated by WebBank.
You took the elevator to the 48th floor and handed him the briefing. Your fingertips touched, sending a shockwave of desire through the air. The room pulsed with a silent craving as he drew you in with his smoldering gaze before uttering the words your body ached to hear.
The next train on track 2 is delayed.
And all the while, you were on your commute home. There's more to imagine when you listen. Discover romance titles on Audible.
Save big during Labor Day at Lowe's. Get up to 40% off select major appliances. Plus, buy more to get up to an additional 20% off. Shop even more savings with 3 Stay Green 1 cubic foot vegetable and flower garden soil bags for $10. This Labor Day, take care of your home for less at Lowe's. We help, you save. Valid through 9/3. Soil offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Selection varies by location. Select locations only. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for more details.
Need better sleep? This Labor Day weekend, upgrade to premium sleep at Mattress Firm's best sale of the year. Let their sleep experts match you with the perfect bed and get the rest you deserve. They make sleep easy.
This is Doug Gottlieb. Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by Mercedes-Benz.
Football first, where Eagles linebacker Nakobe Dean will start the season on the physically unable to perform list as he continues to rehab his knee injury. He can come back in Week 5. The Phillies, they'll try to avoid the sweep by the Mets tonight in New York. Taijuan Walker starts on the mound there for Philly. And Dodger Stadium is being called the most Instagrammable Major League ballpark by Flash Pics. They average 12 tag photos per seat. I'm Scott Davidson.
Looking for an exceptional driving experience? Find it behind the wheel of a Mercedes-Benz SUV. Experience the power, precision, and intelligence of an iconic Mercedes-Benz SUV at your local Mercedes-Benz dealer today.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
We're jam the Schuylkill westbound University Divine and Boulevard to Belmont, eastbound Stop and Go Montgomery Drive to South. Vine Expressway eastbound tied up Schuylkill 95. 95 northbound Jan Giroir Point Bridge at Penn's Landing and Allegheny to Bridge. Total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Compassion International.
Every day, a child in poverty waits for a sponsor is another day of hopelessness. There are thousands of kids who've been waiting over a year. End their wait. Sponsor a child with compassion today. Just text the word radio to 83393.
Do you own or manage a business here in Philadelphia? Are you unsure where to start when it comes to advertising? Well, here's a surprise. Fox Sports The Gambler, your local iHeart station, is the one place you can get it all. Hey, it's Sean Brace, and we can help with everything from radio and podcast ads to social media and digital. And we can even get local voices like mine spreading the word about your business. So if you're looking for someone to take care of it all, do yourself a favor right now. Call 844-844-iHeart or visit iHeartAdvertising.com today.
Stay tuned to Fox PHL The Gambler for the latest CEOs you should know.
David Goodstadt, founder and CEO of Ballers.
Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Mira, Jorge, let's bring the nail gun over here.
Jose stands tall atop his sustainable flooring company.
Totally. It's renewable and moisture resistant, but we have several green options too. Or we got some beautiful reclaimed oak.
But floored by his success, he needs to hire more installers.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, Joy. Oh, you are glowing.
Oh, hey, more like Mira joyed that Miralax helped me go. I was so backed up. Tried mega coffees, prune juice, everything. Then Miralax. And hello, gentle relief without the harsh side effects.
Ooh, how does it work?
It works naturally with the water in your body for constipation relief. Find Miralax today at Walmart.
Use as directed for occasional constipation.
Number 1 on your car radio preset and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. WDAS and WD273D Philadelphia is Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler.
Hey now, Daily Ticket. We're running 3 wide, ladies and gentlemen, here in the 4 o'clock hour. Joining us live in the Gambler stream. You know him, you love him. The one and only Mr. Colby Marcio. We'll tell you where you can find him. His show's following us after this hit right here. Nobody brings the juice. Nobody brings the electricity like Colby. Hello, Colby.
Hey, I just want to give a quick shout out to my best friend, Michael C. Powers. I know he's there. Love that guy. You can't give him enough shout outs. That guy's the man.
Wow.
What went on in Chicago? Now I'm wondering.
A little bit of that. A lot of that.
Kissing.
I will tell you this much. So we go out on Friday night after the show, and it was tremendous. What a day. What a night. Smalls, myself, Colby, Powers, and we went out to this awesome little brewery / pizza place in this like little village outside the convention center. And it was funny because every single time Powers would talk, he would weave in some celebrity or somebody that he's come across that he's worked with.
That's Powers if we know.
And like, it was funny because he wasn't forcing it, but he was being just Powers, right? Yeah. And I mean, dude, like after the third or fourth, but Todd Frazier, you know the hits.
Colby, what was the biggest celebrity that got you?
You know the hits.
Jesus Christ. He's like, that was my brother-in-law.
Anyway.
But no, with Deshaun's credit, he was, if you were somebody in another table, you're like, this guy's definitely doing this on purpose, or it's a bit. Like, he doesn't know these people. But it would be like, yeah, he goes, I went to like this Phillies game and like Alex Rodriguez shook my hand and Cal Ripken Jr. Smooched me on the mouth. It was just like the most. Think of anybody you've ever wanted to meet, and he's like, "Yeah, I got him in my phone. Like, no big deal."
Brandon Graham, Todd Frazier, all the hits, and for Colby and Smalls, the first time meeting Powers. By the end of the night, we start going, dude. Michael C. Powers, and it's just hysterical throughout the course of the night. You had to be there, but it was a great time. Of course, Colby was representing with us out there at the National, right there in Chicago on the outskirts. But what a great time it was! And nice work by you on that one with the bobblehead. Who is that? Is that Schwarber?
It's the guy we interviewed. Come on!
Wow!
Come on!
Was that the guy from American Pie?
Yeah.
I was back in studio.
Yeah, Sam was on the board, Colby.
Yeah.
Sam was on the board. He was running this nonsense back here. All right. So with that being said, let's go ahead and talk some business here. And I do want to open up with some baseball conversation with you, Colby, because look, that's how we came across. That's how we crossed paths. That's how Colby continues to kill it on the timeline. But he is a college football guy, and we're going to be talking a lot of ball over these next weeks/months. But as far as the Phillies and the Mets are concerned right now, tonight, Taijuan Walker, monster dog. You're looking at the Mets at -161. I think this is a lock that the Mets are going to sweep the Phillies. Are you on that boat? How do you see this one playing out tonight? And you are a guy that goes to the fact that your take is the Phillies struggle to win runs outside of Citizens Bank Park. Is that what we're seeing right now, in your opinion?
Oh, Sean, I went all the way to the depths of the earth to get these stats for you. And by that, I mean they were on the surface. The Phillies simply suck on the road. Suck. And if you go and look, you could also say half of the quote-unquote good teams in the MLB suck on the road. But they just simply can't get it done. I have the numbers in front of me. The Phillies at home in the first 5 average almost 3 runs. Overall, 5.3 runs per game. On the road, just barely over 2 runs in the first 5, 4.2 runs overall. On the road this season, 10th worst in WRC plus WOBA and OPS, 11th worst in ISO. Last 4 weeks, these stats are basically the same. The bullpen struggles as well on the road. Most hard contact allowed, but second best walk rate. So you guys aren't walking any guys. So that is good. But I think the offense is the biggest concern on the road because I don't know what it is. Maybe they're just coasting to get in the postseason and then surprise all of us. But if I'm a Philly fan, which I'm not, thank God, I happen to be a fan of a team that's scorching hot and is also kind of in the same boat, the Yanks, but I still don't believe in them. I don't believe in them either, so this isn't me bragging. But if I'm a Philly fan, I'm terrified because you got to win on the road and you got to put up runs on the road. And if you're just banking on the rotation to hold you down on the road, I don't think you're going to do anything.
Yeah. So, like you brought up with the Yankees, this is a spot that I think the Mets or the Phillies are struggling, no doubt. But I'm not going to sit here and say that this is going to carry over throughout the course of September. So you would push back on that, though, Colby.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer of don't panic in August. You can panic in September because you don't want, like the Brewers, great example. Brewers, I don't want to be a Brewers fan in August when they're the hottest team of all time, while people in Chicago, where I'm from, are just panicking with the Cubs. When I'm like, panic in September. You want them to heat up in September as well. You don't want to be hot in August. You want to be hot in September going into October because it's just the way baseball is. If you're hot at the right time, you can beat anybody at any time. So if I'm the Philly fan, I'm hoping September is the best month on the road that they've ever had. I almost called them we.
Almost. We'll get you there eventually. Colby Marcio joining us right here on the Gambler stream, having some fun. Yeah, Taijuan Walker plus 134. He's been pitching better, but I think this is baked into the number right here. The fact that the Mets are minus 164 favorites with the newest pitcher here, and Nolan McLean has pitched well. 15 total strikeouts in the 2 outings he's had, but still somewhat unknown. And as I said, Walker has been pitching better as of late this season for the Phillies. I was surprised at that number. So I think it's telling you all you need to know that the Mets are going to win and sweep the Phillies. Should Phillies fans be concerned about the division? This will knock it down to 5 games, I believe, right? 7, 6, 5. Yeah. 5 games. Or will it bring it down to 4?
It's 5 right now.
It's 5 right now.
Yeah.
If they do win tonight, this will knock down the NL East lead to 4 games. Should Phillies fans be concerned?
I don't know necessarily, because I feel kind of the same way with the Mets. I think they're very inconsistent. When they're hot, they're one of the most dangerous teams in baseball. But when they're not, it's just like they're not good. They're just not a great team when they're not gelling. And they seem to be fine at the moment. So I don't think if they get a win tonight, I don't think 4 is a panic button type deal. You still got time. There's a lot of time, even though it doesn't feel like it. You got a ton of time.
All right. Yeah, Sam checking in. He says JT with the golden sombrero last night. It was just ugly across the board. Very, very ugly, and a very unfortunate game that they ended up losing. Bader gives you that home run. You're thinking, wow, they're going to steal this one, because it hasn't been, like we've seen it happen this year with the Phillies. They've won a bunch of games in the 9th inning, late in the game.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking this would be the ultimate win to do that there. And then, of course, it goes the other way. So we'll see what happens. Again, McLean on the mound for the Mets, -164, 8.5 is our total. First pitch, 7:10 p.m. Staying in the world of baseball, because I want to get over to the gridiron with you. Let's talk about the AL MVP, the big dumper. 50 bomb, 50 spot right now. But man, I'll tell you what. And looking at DraftKings Sportsbook right now, Colby and Sam, I'll bring you in for this conversation, of course, as well. The fact that you can get Cal Raleigh at plus money, I think you got to jump at that at plus 105. However, then you dig a little bit deeper into the numbers, and Judge's average is just ridiculous compared to Raleigh. Raleigh is a one-track man, and what I mean by that is 50 bombs. That's the big damn deal for him. But he is doing it representing the catching spot, and of course as a switch hitter. So there's a lot of history on his side as well, Colby. But as far as the AL MVP right now, Judge -135, Cal Raleigh plus 105. Is the wrong person favored right here?
No. I'm very anti Cal Raleigh AL MVP, very anti. And I've yet to be proven wrong on anything that I've said this week very passionately. This is a very passionate conversation. It's Judge. Why are we even having this conversation just because a guy hits home runs? That's all he does. Oh, but he plays a really physically tolling position at catcher.
Yes.
He's batting under 250. Go look at any other catcher that's ever won this award. They did not bat 250. They batted well above that. And simply, if that is all Cal Raleigh has and he wins this award because he has the most home runs ever by a catcher in a season, I think it'll be a disgrace to this award. Because if you go look at Judge's numbers, sure, he hasn't been the greatest since he came back from his injury. He's got a 83 points higher on-base percentage than Cal Raleigh, almost 100 spots better in the OPS and the batting average. Leads, before he was injured, led in almost every category but home runs. Who are we kidding ourselves? We were talking about the Yankees being potentially not making the postseason when Judge was out because they looked like crap. He is the gel. He is the heartbeat of the Yankees, regardless of what he's doing on the field. He is the reason they are performing well this season. I cannot understand. No one has thrown me a stat outside of WAR and home run on why Cal Raleigh should win this award. WAR doesn't mean anything to me. When a guy strikes out, oh my God, let's get into that. He has more strikeouts than July 1st than hits. He is striking out at almost a 40% clip since July 1st. 40% of his hits since July 1st are home runs. 40% of his hits. So 40% of the time he's striking out, 40% of his hits are home runs. He's a one-trick pony. And if you want to say, well, Aaron Judge, how's the benefit? Hey, how's the benefit of the short porch over there in the Bronx? Shut up, you unoriginal goofball. You are unoriginal. Aaron Judge has great numbers on the road, more home runs on the road this season. Meanwhile, if we want to get down to the nitty-gritty, Cal Raleigh pulls every ball he hits. Every home run he pulled. Go look at the dimensions of T-Mobile. They're not that sexy. Also, shortest home run in MLB history is in Fenway. We never talk about that either. But I digress about my favorite baseball team. Also, zero bias baked into any of this. I have stated nothing but stats. Zero bias. It's Judge. The conversation is over with.
All right, so Kyle Fisher checking in. Love the juice. Love the electricity, Colby.
Kyle, everything else I said matters.
War doesn't mean anything. Judge is leading the majors in it, so that's meaningless.
Everything else matters more.
That's true. All right. Also, on the flip side, do you think that it comes down to the voters? Do you think that there is a chance that the voters will have Judge fatigue that he's won it 2 times out of the last, 3-4 years?
I don't think so either, because then we'd be saying that about Shohei, and we'd be talking about a very similar player. No offense to your guys. Kyle Schwarber is basically the Cal Raleigh of the NL. Very similar players. Doesn't play catcher, though, but I would argue Kyle Schwarber, they're very similar names in my head right now. Kyle Schwarber's had a better season in years past. This is a very good season for him, I'm trying to say. But also, favor of Aaron Judge, maybe this is just East Coast bias on the voters. You think they're staying up to watch Seattle games?
Ooh, that's a good
Also, I spoke to Keith Law. He said he thinks it's Judge. So
look at you. We're dropping the knowledge. Oh, if Keith Law says it, then
Keith Law dunked on me saying he has the Mariners coming out of the AL. So like, I'll give it take.
Keith Law said, Keith Law, wow, this is a throwback. Keith Law, previous radio station I worked at, he got into it with the host. Everybody did back in those days. Behind the scenes, because he wrote an article how Ryan Howard, that contract that he got was a huge mistake. Guess who was right after it was all said and done? I think Keith Law was. Damn.
Yeah.
And I would have given Ryan Howard that contract too as well. So sorry.
You
Rube.
had to.
All right. Sorry. Colby, awesome stuff. So right now, Judge is to play -135. And, look, we got still a full month to go. Do you think that Cal Raleigh can do anything more over these next 5 weeks that could potentially land him the front runner? Or do you think this is going to be Judge putting the bias aside? The voters are going to see all of the numbers, everything you just laid out, and Judge is the winner.
I think it's very tough to give it to Cal. Like there's really nothing.
60 home runs. 60.
You think he's going to get 10 in a month? I think Kyle makes a great point. He is an awesome defender. Do not get me wrong. And also, to the people thinking I'm just throwing shade at Cal, we can also take a quick step back and appreciate what he has done this season. It is a remarkable season.
Yes.
This isn't an Offensive Player of the Year award. This is the MVP. Who are we fooling ourselves on the better offensive season? People on Twitter were arguing with me saying, well, it's a down year. If it's a down year, give it to the obvious guy. He's in New York. And just because, also, as a Yankee fan, I'm aware that that is the most hated team in all of sports. I know that. I understand that. I'm not a fool. But if you were just hating on him simply because he plays for the Yankees, you're the fool. Because if you can't appreciate greatness, you don't like sports. But also, hating people is the beauty of sports. I'm talking to you, Tom Brady. Don't like you.
Told you. You never know where we're going to go, Sam. I love it. Wait, you could see these comments? I didn't even put that up there. You could see that?
Yeah, if I hit comments, I can see anything.
Oh, I didn't know that. How about that? All right, yeah. Kyle Fisher back again. Only argument for Cal Raleigh is that he might is the best defender in the AL at the toughest position, while also leading the league in both home runs and RBI.
36% strikeout percentage. The league average is 23%. Judge is at 26%.
I've been consistent. I just think when it comes to these sort of deals, you have to put yourself in the mind of the voter. And I don't think they're digging too deep into the OPNBRSY. I think they're looking at home runs, team success, more buzz, that sort of deal. And if you're Paul Skeens, who he dates. Other than that, I think the voters are going to keep it very surface level. Judge will probably.
What's the voting system for in the MLB? Is it like the Heisman voting where there's millions of people that have a vote, or is it more limited?
So I found this out when I was talking to Keith Law when I was doing a show a couple weeks ago, that he is set to do, I believe it was one of the Rookie of the Years. Like they get signed. I think that's what I recall. They get assigned which award they do. So I think that's sick. I think that's sick. That's sick.
That is pretty cool.
It says most valuable player awards are voted on members of the Baseball Writers Association of America.
Yep.
That is the BBWAA for keeping score at home. Each league's BBWAA members submit their ballots at the end of the season, and the votes are tallied to determine the winners. Now, how many people are in the BBWAA?
That's a pretty large association. I don't know if everyone gets a vote just because you're in that association.
All right. Well, we'll see how it plays out. It was a great conversation to get into
It's
there.
the most interesting conversation in baseball right now, and I can't wait to continually talk about it. And people are like, can we get on with another conversation? This is interesting stuff because clearly a lot of people on social media think it's Cal. So I'm here for it. I'm here for any debate. If anyone wants to debate me, at Colby M. Betts on Twitter, I will talk to you, but I will not reply to you if you reply with no stats. If you don't reply with any stats or anything that just seems like bias and opinion, I'm not going to reply to you because that's just
bring your stats.
Men
Bring
lie,
your stats.
Women lie. Numbers never
lie. Yeah, exactly. All right.
Yep.
Colby Marcio joining us right here. And we're going to go ahead and make a transition. Our first time, well, we did jab at it a little bit over there to Chicago. But let's get into some college football. We have a big one on Saturday. Possibly the biggest opener as far as the season is concerned. From the start to finish with the card in week one, no doubt. This is the best opening weekend college football has ever put together. I can name 5 games that I just cannot wait to watch or want to be belly up, but unfortunately, being a dad with 2 kids, you do get pulled from time to time. Yeah, exactly. I'm ready to chomp right into it. Like
it's a good week one. It's a really good sampler. It's the good sampler.
Sampler. Oh, this is main course.
This is the best week one we've probably had in years.
This is belly up at a Capitol Grill, and we're going with multiple steaks and the sides. Keep it coming. Yeah, the filet we know is, of course, Texas on the road at Ohio State. Now, I believe Colby is joining you with the Texas love for that game. 2.5 point spread right now. 1.5, excuse me, down
Horns
to 1.5.
up.
Horns up. Why, Colby? Why are you on Texas on the road against Ohio State to open up the season?
I'll start off with my lazy handicap. Would I rather trust Arch Manning, who's played before, or Sayin? I believe I would lean with Arch Manning, who hasn't had a full season under his belt out there. People are arguing, well, if he's football god, shouldn't he have played over Quinn Ewers? And I'm going to be biased and overlook that because I like Texas in this spot. I think their offense is fully loaded. I think this is a great spot for Arch Manning to, I don't know, like here I am type deal. But they've loaded running back core, loaded wide receiver room. The offensive line is going to be the biggest concern. But if it was a big concern, wouldn't they go out and get more guys? Wouldn't Sarkisian go out and get more guys? I don't think it's going to be that problem. Sure, they lost 4 guys and kept 1 starter on the line. Phil Steele has Texas putting up almost 450 yards per game, 33 points per game. The defense replaced 5 defensive tackles with 5 guys with a ton of experience. I think it's going to be a great defense. I think it's going to be a much better team than last year, which I think we didn't find out they were not that great until the playoffs, which we find out with most of these teams by then. And with Ohio State, really, I've talked to some people that went to Ohio State, played at Ohio State. I don't think they have a lot of confidence with saying, and maybe I'm wrong, but I'm a little shade on that guy. That face doesn't say winning quarterback to me. Just going off another lazy handicap. Nothing against him. I have a face for radio. My mom told me so, and that face doesn't do it for me. I'm just going to say that doesn't do it for me.
No, and I don't think it's, you're having fun with it. I don't think it's a lazy handicap because we haven't seen these guys play, right? Like, well, we've seen Arch play, but like these teams play this year. Both teams were definitely hit last year. To me, I think, and I know this is a lazy handicap because it comes down to where both teams were hurt the most. Offensive line for Texas, defensive line for Ohio State. Who's going to be better with beef up front? Right. That's where it comes down to for me. I think both quarterbacks are good. I think Arch is the real damn deal. Don't know much about saying, but when you were ready to go, to Alabama to play for Nick Saban, that kind of tells me a thing or two about what your potential is.
Yeah.
Goes to Ohio State. And, oh, by the way, the 2 best players on the field, whether it's offense or defense, are coming from the Ohio State with Caleb Downs on defense and, of course, Jeremiah Smith on offense. So I look at it from that perspective and I say, you know what? All right, I get it. Art's going to make some plays, but Ohio State at home, I think they're the play.
We need this. We need discourse. We need discourse.
Yeah,
and I don't disagree with you. But just
home field doesn't play at all into this.
Oh, it does.
Okay,
It
well,
does.
then why?
I think. Like I said, the quarterback. I want the guy with the experience, the guy that knows the offensive system, and we're getting a little bit of plus money to kick the season off.
Yeah.
Colby, my whole thing's been the coordinators. That's what I've been saying this whole time, is that the Ohio State had to replace 2 coordinators with their offensive defense coordinator, and that's
that I
2
forgot to
plays
mention.
right there.
Yeah,
and Texas has continuity on their coaching staff. Steve Sarkisian's still calling the plays. Both coordinators return. So that's the whole thing with me. When you're talking about a week 1 game, as the season goes on, that might not matter as much. But we talk about that in the NFL all the time, when it's the Lions or the Eagles a couple seasons ago. When you lose both coordinators, that's a pretty big loss. And I think that's going to be important in this week 1 matchup, because Texas just has the continuity. And when you're such even teams, you got to find some edge, and that's the edge that I'm giving Texas.
And they don't get a preseason, so this is just them out there raw as hell. Exactly. So I'm with you there.
All right, Clemson LSU up to 4 now, Colby. 57.5 is our number in this one. 7:30 p.m. I think we were holding steady at 4, if I'm not mistaken. So I apologize if I got a little animated on that one. But Clemson 4-point favorite. Still a lot of points for LSU to grab here, but tough to go on the road. They have not been successful in season openers. However, Clemson Dabo versus SEC competition, not exactly the best either in that category. So I'm kind of in the middle. I have talked myself into LSU being the play with the points, trying to get there with the money line at plus 150. However, I'm not here to argue against anybody that wants to believe in Cade Klubnik. I think his season last year should be looked at in a little bit more positive manner than he's getting credit for. And, oh, by the way, this is a team that likes to take shots down the field. This is another game where I sit here and say, yeah, I believe in my handicap. I believe in my vision, my thoughts, all that. But we haven't seen these two teams play. So flip a coin. I hate to say that, but I'm going to take LSU plus the points, going on the road and potentially coming away with that upset victory. Where are you at with this game, sir?
Same thing. I think I've been on this 4.5 for a month now.
Nice.
And I don't see it being a blowout. If LSU loses, I think it is by the field goal, so we're getting the points there. I don't want to take the money line just because I want that cushion. I'm a soft guy. So, number 1, I love the Nuss Bus. I love the Nuss Bus more than I love Klubnik, which is another reason why I'm on LSU. Also, something that I really like, when a guy's chair is just burning.
You think Brian Kelly's chair's on fire?
Who's on the hottest seat in America right now? It's Brian Kelly. I want a guy that
What about Billy Napier?
Oh,
yeah, well,
he's fine. He's got DJ Lagway, my Heisman Trophy winner.
Wow, really?
I got 2. I can get those later. But Brian Kelly, I think, is on a very, very hot seat. And I'm not a Dabo guy. The most anti-Dabo guy of all time. Unless he has, quote-unquote, Jesus Christ at quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, or, quote-unquote, Michael Jordan. These are his quotes. Deshaun Watson. I don't think he's the greatest coach of all time. I think he's a little overrated. And a lot of people wanted to go out and give this man flowers because he got off his rear end and went into the portal this offseason. Yep. But people forget, very weak portal class. Also, LSU has the number 1 portal class in America alongside a top 10 signing class. I think Mr. Kelly went off and got the better guys that he possibly could, while sounds like Dabo got the scraps. I'm a very firm believer in Nussmeier. I think the offense is going to be explosive. He gives Joe Burrow-esque. He's a guy that can sling the pill with ease. The defense is always going to be the concern, but I think it is going to be a much better LSU defense that we've seen in years past. We're like, hey, automatic over on any LSU game. The defense doesn't exist. I think it's going to be a serviceable defense that the LSU offense can succeed and put some points on the board and get a good cushion and possibly get a win in Death Valley, the fake Death Valley. The real one's in Baton Rouge.
How about that?
This is a sweet, boys, because I got LSU too.
Okay.
And I don't love it, but I like it because LSU's lost 5 straight openers. Brian Kelly, to Colby's point of him being on the hot seat, part of it is because he's never won an opener. If not now, when at some point, yeah, it's a road game. But to Colby's point, too, they also have the number 1 transfer class. They lost 4 starters on the offensive line. You replace a lot of that through the portal. That's where they use a lot of those portal resources on that offensive line. And I'm a huge Nussmeier guy, too. His turnovers are kind of a problem in those losses last year. But if he doesn't turn the ball over, he's as good, probably better. He's a better arm than Cade Klubnik. So I think Nussmeier is just as good, if not better than Klubnik. And I think like the +4, I don't think they're going to win outright, but to keep it within 4, within a field goal even, I like LSU to score enough to keep up with Clemson.
100%.
So it's not a strong play for me, but I like LSU plus the points.
All right. Does Dabo give off Michael Scott vibes? Like, I didn't see these quotes. I did this Christ comparison.
He's called Deshaun Watson Michael Jordan.
Wow, I don't remember that. That's incrable.
It was during the draft. He's like, if anyone gets him, you're getting Michael Jordan. And I was like, this guy doesn't shut up.
Michael Jordan, we didn't learn a lot about him off the field, off the court, but teach their own. Keeping it moving. I will just say this: last time that these two teams matched up was Joe Burrow in that national championship game where they torched Clemson. I actually did have,
and that was the last time that LSU won an opener that season, 2019. It's been that long.
What a marvelous year.
That was a fun year. And then how about Jamar Chase ends up with him up there in Cincinnati? It's crazy how that worked out. We'll see. Plenty of time to talk about the NFL. Staying in college, though. All right, we're kind of swaying. We're back and forth on our plays here. Is there a play this weekend, week 1, that you love, Colby, that you're like, you know what? This isn't a weak handicap. This isn't a lazy handicap. I love this team because X. Where are you at on that one?
I am the biggest Notre Dame hater on the planet.
Let's go.
I can't stand when they're just ranked top 15 every year because of the name, but God dang it, I love them this week.
Never mind.
Completely different direction.
Let's go. No more.
Love them.
Why?
I think it's a misprice. This is the same team that went to the Natty. All they have to do is replace the quarterback. This is the same exact team.
A college game in his life.
I can live with that. I can live with that. I can live with that. The defense is the same. And we're going up. The Notre Dame Fighting Irish are going up against, I get it, Carson Beck, who is, if you go check out the completion percentages, it has dwindled every year. He has not improved. If he was so good, he'd be in the NFL. Also, number 1 overall pick last year.
He got hurt.
I know. Still could have went to the draft.
Okay.
He's replacing the number 1 overall pick who didn't really do much last year for Miami, and you get a guy who's definitely not going to be the number 1 overall pick. I would rather root for the Fighting Marcus Freeman's on the money line, -130. I think it's a steal of a price.
And that game is going off on Sunday at 7:30 p.m. It is a 2.5-point spread. The Irish are favored on the road in Miami. Big spot for Mario Cristobal and, of course, Carson Beck as his quarterback. There's a lot of question marks with that team, but there is a lot of love for Notre Dame, and it's all based off of which it's hard to argue that defense. It is for real. Great run game as well. Big question mark at that quarterback position. I am going to enjoy this game, but I am looking at the U to potentially.
What's the love? What's the love? You guys love Cristobal? Good later.
Yeah, you're right. No, I would say that it's a little bit more swayed to the fact that, look, what everybody is saying about Notre Dame makes total sense, but we know that it doesn't really play out like that half the time, right? It's too easy. Most of the time it is, but it's 2.5, so it could go either way. I think it's going to be a tough game for Miami to win. Notre Dame should be favored here, but you got to show it to me on Sunday night when it's a standalone game. Everybody's going to be watching.
For me, it's.
I think if you get the 3 points, I think Miami's price, because I don't think there's going to be a lot of points.
Okay.
For me, the whole thing is like we just had the longest college football season in the history of college football last season.
Is correct.
And Notre Dame was playing in that very last game.
That is
so
correct.
They were until the end. And this Notre Dame team, historically under Marcus Freeman, the last few years, they've gotten much better as the season went on. So I'm not a Miami guy at all. I don't think they're going to be in the college football playoff this year. I'm not a Cristobal guy. But I think in this opener, it's a good spot for Miami at home against a Notre Dame team that just played a national title, team that usually gets better as the year goes on. And CJ Carr playing his first collegiate game ever. I'm going Miami.
All right. Let's go ahead real quick on this one, Colby. I know you got a show coming up here, and I appreciate the extended visit here, but let's talk Thursday, tomorrow night. Is there a game on the card that has you excited, or do you have a play that you like Thursday night?
I don't have anything tomorrow. The earliest game I have is Auburn money line.
All right. What I would say is I East Carolina, NC State, man, the juices, the vibes are there. That's going to be potential for some fireworks. 14-point spread. Show me, Wolfpack. I would take the Pirates. Give me the Pirates catching 14 on that one. Anyways, to Friday, and that's a big one with Colorado. They just named the quarterback from Liberty. He's the starting quarterback. From some of the things that I'm taking away that, again, off season, we're all guessing here, but Colorado catching 4 at home against Georgia Tech. I have Georgia Tech over 7.5. I think Georgia Tech is the play here. But when you remove the skill position conversation and you start talking about, of course, beef up front, on the inside, the interior, I was reading that Colorado stepped their game up this offseason with the recruits, with the transfer portal, finally getting better in that area. And that's what they were missing last year. They had the explosiveness with Travis Hunter, of course, Shador making plays left and right, good run game. But now they're improving in the areas that they needed to be. So I'm wondering if it's all going to come together in this spot, catching 4. Nobody has Colorado. What's your take on that game?
I think it's going to be really interesting just to watch how Deion's coaching career plays out without his son, without Travis Hunter. I think it's going to be really interesting to see what really Colorado is without the distractions of those two that were there last year. It'll be very interesting. I love their quarterback. Caden Salter is an electrifying quarterback. I think he's a great get for them. I hope they do well because I'm a Salter guy. They also have just a pretty decent offense. I know they lost a ton of receivers, but they replaced them with a ton of talent. Great offensive line, and the defense should be solid. I think they'll put up a fight. I don't want to be on anything. I just want to see it and watch it play out. But I'll be rooting for the Colorado Buffs. I don't mind rooting for them.
I'm taking Georgia Tech.
As long as they stop sending stuff to the Heisman voters, I'll be fine with rooting for them.
I'm taking the
Remember us?
I'll catch the 4 on that one. No, I don't remember that one. What did they do? They because
they sent.
Yeah. Now it came
that drove me nuts.
It worked.
I don't think they needed to do that, even though I was a Genty guy.
Yeah, he was pretty good. All right, final one for me. UNC, Bill Belichick, which I think I got ball sacked earlier. I thought I read that.
You did. Brace got ball sacked.
I did.
Bad.
I got sacked.
You got sacked.
I thought he ended up getting homegirl pregnant. I thought they were having a kid.
He was asking me about
that was on my timeline.
Pregnant. I was like, what are you talking
about?
I feel like Sean gets ball sacked more than anybody in America.
No, that's not fair. That's not fair. I'm normally, my intuition is good on the sack. Normally I'm better. But this was one that jumped on my timeline earlier. I put 2 and 2 together. I said, you know what, Belichick, right? There's no issues there. If they want to create a family, God bless them.
How do you know there's no issues there?
You're right.
There's a decent chance there are.
But UNC they named their starting quarterback, and that is a standalone game on Monday. UNC TCU, Colby Marcio. Are you playing anything in this one right now? I believe UNC. I had the spread, man. DK changed some stuff up. Now I'm struggling here. Next week, I got next week's game. You got a spread on that one, Sam?
Yeah, I believe it was 4 last time I saw, but I got.
It's not a top 25 game, is it? It's not. That's why I'm missing it right
What's
now.
the total?
UNC is in the damn ACC. Where
plus
are we?
3.5. North Carolina's plus
3.5. 56.5 is our total in that one. That game kicks at 8 p.m. on Monday. Standalone game. Where are you at, Colby?
I'm kind of thinking under, right? I mean, you got a Bill Belichick defense that should be the highlight of the whole team because we know Bill knows D. And they lost 7 starters, sure, but they got a solid back 7. They bring in a ton of talent on defense. They have a really good offensive line. I know that. But who's Gio Lopez? Sure, he played at Southern Alabama last year, put up over 200,000 yards, 2,000 yards. Can't even speak.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about the kid. I was doing minimal research on him. I saw you throw the pill, I guess. But I think the ACC is going to be a lot tougher for him because South Alabama doesn't play anybody unless it's the first couple weeks. So I kind of lean with the under, knowing just how Bill is with defenses. So I'm going to look into it more. Maybe I'll bet the under. Maybe I won't.
Yeah, and TCU's got the better quarterback, that's for sure, with Hoover in there and his furry love affair. Well, I don't know if that's true or not either, but that's on the timeline. So we'll see. I didn't get sacked on that one. That was not me. I didn't think it was real, but you never know this day and age. It's just wild. It's definitely wild what's happening. Colby, you are the best. Great stuff as always. And once again, you can find Colby on all things socials at Colby M Bets, and he's got his own show coming up here at I get the times confused. So it's 4:00 his time, 5:00 our time. He's joining Shaggy Betts and the great Kate Constable. How about that? Nice work by you there. So that's coming up. What are you guys getting into?
Oh, everything we just talked about and more. He's Shaggy.
Yeah.
Nate's got soccer to discuss.
Is Nate Shaggy?
Yeah, Nate's Shaggy. And I added Alabama to win the Natty and Ty Simpson to win Heisman last night because they correlate. They correlate, and I'm selling myself. When you guys mentioned what's my favorite bet of the week, I forgot about Alabama. I think they blow the doors off of FSU.
That's on my card too.
And like what we mentioned, new OC, new DC. Get the kinks out first and let Alabama roll past you. And I think the most interesting thing about the Alabama team is, one, I'm a sucker for a year two coach, especially DeBoer, who's a great coach. And this team, I think the defense only lost 3 guys to the draft. When was the last time we were able to say Alabama only lost a couple guys to the draft? I don't know. I probably wasn't alive. And I just think Simpson is just given a platter of an awesome offense that he could just have so much success with. Maybe he's raw out the gate and he improves as the weeks go by, but I think they come out hot.
I'm all over the Tide train this week and on the season. I love that.
It all correlates. I feel like if you want them to win the Natty, you got to take Ty.
Definitely.
Yeah, you're right. It does correlate. I'm with you there, but
I mean, their defensive line is going to be really good, and they'll be able to run the football with that O-line too, with all those returners Colby just mentioned.
Yeah.
But still, like, you got to have good quarterback play in the SEC, and people are saying Ty Simpson is going to be really good.
I want to see
I heard a lot of good things about him.
I want to see Norvell turning around. It was a bad year last year.
I mean, he's going to have a better than 2-win season.
Yeah, I was going to say, the floor is the ceiling.
Keep it close. 2 touchdowns.
I don't think so. Right. Alabama was one of my plays this weekend.
All right. We'll see who's celebrating.
Go.
Colby, you're the best. You can find all of his shows over at Your Betting News. Colby M Bets. Great stuff, Colby. Hey, man, have a great Labor Day weekend, sir. Good luck on all those plays. And, of course, we'll be talking all things AL MVP, NL MVP, Phils, Mets, Yanks, playoff baseball, and more over the next few weeks. You're the best, dude. Appreciate a couple minutes.
You guys as well. Thank you again. Miss you guys.
Colby, a couple minutes, meaning 40 minutes. Yeah, appreciate 40 minutes, dude. You're the best.
I would have given you 3 hours if you asked.
I love it. Man, there he is. Colby Marcio on the Gambler Stream. Fantastic job by Colby on that one. All right. Late for a break, of course. Going 45 total minutes there, but a lot to chew on. So you like Bama?
I love Bama.
Double-digit spread. You're not scared of it?
Nope. This is a complete rebuild for Florida State. They only have 2 returning offensive starters, and one of their new guys is Tommy Castellanos for the BC transfer.
That's correct.
I don't necessarily love him. This is like a rebuilding Florida State team against an Alabama team that Colby just mentioned returned a ton of guys. Like, this is a rare Alabama group where they got a ton of guys back, especially on the offensive line, defensive line. You got to win the trenches. Those guys are just going to overpower Florida State in the trenches, and it doesn't really matter what Ty Simpson does in week 1. I don't care. It's on the road. I think Alabama wins by at least 2 touchdowns. It's one of my favorite plays of the weekend.
Yeah, but Nick Saban.
What about him?
Kellen DeBoer is not Nick Saban.
That was 2 years ago. We're not doing the Nick Saban thing again.
You knew what you were getting with Nick Saban in Alabama. Do you know what you're getting right now with Kellen DeBoer?
No, but I think he's a really good coach,
He is.
and I think it's a really good roster. So, like, I don't really care that he's still following an all-time great predecessor. I mean, it's a huge year for him. He's got to be in the playoff, or else he's firmly on the hot seat. Firmly,
it's the truth.
But I trust this Alabama team, especially in week 1. Like, this Florida State team isn't going to be as bad as last year. They're not good though. They're not a good football team, especially compared to Alabama.
All right. Plenty more to discuss. Got to take quick time out. More Daily Ticket with Sam Oster and myself back after this.
We don't just watch college football. We live it. How did he stay on balance there? Look at him go. Scataboo. Join us for the stories, the scores, and the Saturday magic. It's The Gambler.
Pumpkin pie and apple butter concretes are now at Rita's.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
Traffic stop now at the Tacony-Palmyra Bridge. That's for a drawbridge opening. Platte Bridge eastbound, Jan, just about the length heading into South Philly. All volume there. The westbound Schuylkill Heavy University to Girard, City to Belmont and Gladwood to Conshohocken, eastbound Jan Blue Route to Belmont and Boulevard to South. The Vine Expressway busy both ways, Schuylkill 95 northbound Jan, Girard Point Bridge to Penn's Landing, and Girard up the bridge, southbound stop and go, Cotton to the Betsy Ross. Lara Tutela, total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Perfect for instant contact with an aging parent. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get an extra 60% off, free UPS shipping, and add code radio for an extra 5% off.
Run a business and not thinking about podcasting? Think again. More Americans listen to podcasts than ad-supported streaming music from Spotify and Pandora. And as the #1 podcaster, iHeart's twice as large as the next two combined. So whatever your customers are into, true crime, sports, comedy, culture, they'll hear your message. Plus, only iHeart can extend your message to audiences across broadcast radio. And all this reach means everything. Just think about the universal marketing formula. The number of consumers who hear your message times the response rate equals the results. Now let's get those results growing for you. Think podcasting can help your business? Think iHeart. Streaming, radio, and podcasting. Let us show you at iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com. Or call 844-844-iHeart. One more time. Call 844-844-iHeart and get podcasting working for you.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just one cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 and monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
I have heart failure, and being out of breath all the time was just too much. I also have other symptoms like carpal tunnel syndrome and lower back pain, and I thought something's really off. That's why I talked to my cardiologist about ATTR-CM, or transthyretin cardiac amyloidosis.
ATTR-CM is a serious heart condition often accompanied by other non-heart-related symptoms. It's a condition that gets worse over time, so starting treatment early is important. Talk to your cardiologist today to see if you have ATTR-CM. Vindamax, tafamidis, is a prescription pill taken once a day to treat adults with ATTR-CM to reduce death and hospitalization for heart problems. Tell your doctor about all your medications, medical conditions, and if you have liver problems or breastfeeding, pregnant, or plan to be. There are no known side effects with Vindamax. For prescribing information, call 1-877-278-9632. Learn more at Vindamax.com.
Ask your doctor about ATTR-CM.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Sound familiar? At Mattress Firm, we understand there are many problems that can keep you up at night, like snoring, aches and pains, or sleeping hot. Our sleep experts have the unrivaled know-how to match you with a mattress that can help. And now at Mattress Firm, get a king bed for a queen price, plus a free adjustable base with select Sealy mattresses.